Peace and blessings. I am back. Indeed, there is a correlation. There is a duality between Mother Earth and Father Sky. But we must also understand that the first God, the original God of the planet, was Goddess, or God the Mother, the divine creator. Even in Kemetic symbolism, spirituality, and religion, the sky goddess is Nut, whose body is the physical manifestation of our cosmos and all its stars and galaxies and lights within the sky, and everything manifests from there to arrive here to be implanted and supplanted again in the moisture of Mother Earth and allowed to grow and manifest. So we cannot deny in understanding and interpreting the Egyptian or Kemetic tarot, the dualities that exist. We are both X and Y. X and Y are both necessary in order to create and manifest human. In order to create and manifest DNA and matter, there must be two or more strands that must bound and wove themselves together to create the new pathway. So, in understanding Egyptian tarot, we must not only recognize the four seasons and remember the understanding of the four seasons through an Egyptian or an ancient Egyptian understanding or eye, but also to recognize and acknowledge the basic symbolism laid in each and every card, particularly the master cards, the teachers, as you will, who come to share with us profound lessons that speak to each question presented through the master cards. Some people separate the master cards from the deck and read just with the master cards. Others, such as myself, will mix the deck and will read both the major and the minor arcana or cards, as it were. I was attempting to avoid some complicated cards in only my second or part two video to the introduction. But again, they have returned, so Spirit is saying that I must speak on them, and I must speak on them now. Again, remembering our numerology, we have the Seven of Cups here. Seven is the divine number of completion in divine mathematics, and is present in many cultures and religions when you delve deep enough in their occult science and understanding. Seven is a cyclical number, but it is a cosmic, universally cyclical number. So not only is it a ending of a season, it is generally the beginning of a new one. Our physical bodies, each and every cell within our body has its birth, its maturity, its decay, and its death within a 7-year cycle. So every part of you is totally new, is totally recreated based on its original vibration and pattern every 7 years. And for me, learning that and coming in contact with that profound understanding made my ability to change my circumstance to project positive thought form and energy into each and every endeavor to manifest greater and better results, while still learning the lessons, not dodging the lessons, not being in denial of the lessons, but while still learning the lessons, and that is laid in the seven. So to use these cards as symbolism, We have a Seven of Cups, which again, cups represent water, represent another form of cycle, as it were, as it relates to the gravity and the influx of energy from the moon as it tugs on our earth and pulls the water and the moisture in our earth. This is why we relate the moon to emotion, to the changing tides and fluctuations of emotion. So seven would represent a ending to or beginning of that cycle for whatever the question, as it were, would have been had someone presented the question before we laid these cards. The pentacle, again, is representative of earth, but physical earth, material earth, matter. Three is an offensive number as opposed to two, which I said in the first video is a defensive number. Three represents having come together, having made plans, and now moving forward. Police officers ride in twos in a defensive measure. But typically, when you see them coming in a three, they've had time to work out a plan. There's something in offense that is now being moved forward, and now you're on the defense to protect whatever that plan is. And this is how we look at numbers and numerology in our daily existence. When threes move with us, they are moving in offense with us. Our plans are being carried out and are being transported forward into the realm of spirit, the realm of magic, but also the realm that leads to physical manifestation. When we move out in twos, we are moving out in a more defensive posture, sometimes not necessarily aware of what we have to protect from, but moving in defense, as it were, before we make that decision to move offensively. Offensive movement should always come with forethought, foreknowledge, and awareness, with judgment. And here we have the judgment card right next to this three of coin or three of pentacle, this three operating in a place of movement. The judgment card, where Tahuti or Thoth, as many of you know him, is carrying the initiate into the hall of mysteries, the hall of judgment. And he will be tested based on his heart, his karma, his deeds and actions. Those are all symbolized by the ba or the heart, the Egyptian or Kemetic heart. And this is done in the judgment hall, as many of you know, with Ma'at being used as the scale. And Ma'at represents divine justice incarnate. Next to this, we have the devil card. Now, when the devil card is present, people tend to get nervous or uncomfortable based on their personal religious indoctrination with even the concept of the devil. So that must be considered when seeking out a reading for someone using tarot. And by the way, tarot is not my favorite form of divination. I think when you incorporate paper and ink and the impression and energy of human craft onto the card, it affects the matter of reading. And I've actually had some really profoundly unusual encounters around tarot, and I'll do another video about that. But the devil often represents lust, lasciviousness, greed, overabundance, doing things to an extreme, some form of enslavement, either from without or within. It is typically representative of negative forces implanting themselves on what would otherwise be a positive situation. I know there are those out there who have embraced the Luciferian path and